Hello, everyone. It has been 4 days since this episode premiered, and we are still talking about it. It has impacted all of us, I think, you know? But I believe there's going to be a silver lining to all this, so we will talk about it, all right? Thank you for joining us. This is Father Son Galaxy. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. Yeah, Keith is still, he's grieving, so we're going to get through this, Chuck. All right, let's talk about this. So, this episode, we are here to talk about X-Men 97. Episode 5 called Remember It, written by Bo DeMayo, directed by Emi Unemura. All right, let's get into it. So now, the stage is set for Genosha, right? This is a very big day for this planet. Very big day for this country. They are going to be considered for the UN. It's wonderful. So we're seeing it. Well, I don't know if we saw Genosha. I didn't watch the series from the 90s.
Yeah, it's in there.
It looks wonderful. It gives me the vibe of Wakandan vibe, right? It looks very bustling. People are happy. The businesses are booming. Like the economy looks like it's strong. So we get Magneto and Rogue and Gambit. They land and people know who they are. Well, they know Magneto because he's got a statue, huge statue, right next to Charles Xavier.
So Magneto is like the mutant god of Genosha.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go as far as God, but it's funny.
They have statues of him. They have posters of him. They sell merch of him.
Okay, all right. Well, they might.
People are saying Magneto was right.
Okay. So it seems like some of the people of the country idolize him. All right, well, okay. But he has done a lot, whether you like his tactics or not, he's done a lot for his people. All right, so they land. One of the things I want to say about this series, how much I love this series, I was a big fan of this TV series called Dallas back in the day. And it is, you talk about a soap opera. This was a primetime soap opera. It was a huge hit, big in the ratings. It had, relationships and intrigue and mystery and murder and relationships and people doing the wrong things. This is the X-Men to me. So this was pretty awesome. All right. So who is the first, one of the new faces that we haven't seen so far this season? Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner or Wagner.
Yahoo!
Yeah, all right. So let's talk about Nightcrawler. He made his first appearance in Giant Size X-Men #1. That was in May of 1975. He has the ability to teleport. He has agility. He clings to walls, and he has that prehensile tail, right? That tail that just wraps around things. Pretty awesome. So something that he picked up very quickly. This is when Rogue and the Gambit were walking, and we know the relationship. Gambit really has feelings for Rogue, and Kurt picked up on it very quickly. And I like how the series is actually making fun of itself because he says, you Americans so theatrical. I blame soap operas, right?
And that's
what it is. That's exactly what this is. So that was pretty cool. So we know Gambit. Gambit is not the type of person. Apparently, to him, he doesn't want to settle down. He doesn't want to marry Rogue. He wants to be a playboy. He comes off as being a playboy, and he wants to be available to help save the world if necessary. So he's not looking to settle down anytime soon. All right. Okay. All right. Another character, pretty big character that we meet. This is the council meeting with some of these mutants who are trying to decide who is going to lead Genosha, who's going to be the new chancellor. One of those people in the council is Emma Frost. All right. She made her first appearance in Uncanny X-Men #129. That was in January of 1980. Her abilities is high-level telepathic abilities and the power to turn into an organic diamond. I don't know. We'll see.
So she's the Kool-Aid man.
I don't know what that means.
The Kool-Aid man has the ability to turn into a crystal jar, and I'm pretty sure he's telepathic.
It's a Kool-Aid man?
Yeah.
Telepathic. Okay. All right. This is a very interesting trait. I don't know why she would need to have this, but it sounds intriguing. Maybe we'll see her use it. I don't know.
The telepathy or the diamond thing?
The diamond, the organic diamond. Like I don't.
Well, it just makes her pretty much invincible. Because
Go ahead.
diamonds are really hard to damage, so if she turns into a diamond, pretty much nothing would hurt her.
So she kind of creates a shield for herself?
No, she literally turns into a crystal.
Wow, interesting.
Emma Frost, that's why.
Okay, all right. I have not seen it. I don't know anything about Emma Frost. I didn't, I read some comics, but not a lot.
She's in the original show.
Okay, all right. So you've seen her do this? Change into a diamond? Okay.
Sure.
You're not telling me. Okay, all right. So the council, also on the council is a man named Sebastian Shaw. Let me finish talking about Emma. So now Emma apparently was once a supervillain, but then she turned good. Okay. Now, I don't know what side she's taken at the moment. It seems to be that she's working with the X-Men because she's an ally and she's looking to have representation at this meeting and choose a supreme or chancellor. So I guess she's one of the good guys. I don't know what you think, but anyway, okay. And then so another person that was at this meeting, his name is Sebastian Shaw. Now he's a supervillain. Very interesting to see him at this council. Why is he there? I don't know what's going to happen with him, but we'll talk more about Sebastian later on. So the council decides that they want Magneto, of course, to be the chancellor. And Magneto says, okay, on one condition, that Rogue leads alongside me. Very interesting. All right. Okay, so let's get back. We'll get back to that. So let's talk about Scott and Jean. Boy, yeah, they're going through something. And look, let's not just Scott and Jean, but Scott, Jean, and Madelyne.
I sense a divorce coming.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That wasn't a joke.
No, okay, I'm in agreement with you. I don't know what's happening with this couple, but
yeah, because Scott's angry.
Yeah,
Madelyne's angry. I have no clue what Jean's doing.
Yeah, I think Jean is still trying to figure out who she is, and she's trying to restore
Why'd she
her
have
memories.
To bring Wolverine into this?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think she's just very confused at the moment, and she is looking for answers, maybe, and she's hoping to get it from Logan. But yeah, we'll talk about what happened with her and Logan. But I want to first talk about the interview. Now, Scott, first of all, I think he told way too much to this journalist. I don't think this reporter needed to know all of his personal life, but he really just went off, and he was angry. And
my dad abandoned me,
yeah,
and you humans won't let me have my son.
Yeah,
which is incorrect because they're not actually the ones that did anything. It was Mr. Sinister. So
yeah, it was. It was like he was using this interview as therapy.
He's like, we risk our lives for you people, and then we get isolated.
Yeah. And of course, we know that he's hurting because he can't raise his son at the moment. His son is not with him. As you know from the past episodes, that Bishop took little Nathan to his world, his dimension.
By the way, why didn't Bishop just teleport himself to the future and then bring the cure back to give it to Nathan, and then Beast could have repaired his time band so he could just go back?
That makes sense. It's
that way the kid can stay there.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it sounds to me that Bishop only had a one-way ticket to wherever he was going.
But he had juice for two people.
Yeah,
so two people could be one trip of two people, or two trips, one person.
Not necessarily, but I see what you're saying. I see your point.
Now, wait a minute. How is that power divided? Because Nathan's a baby. Does he require the same energy for interdimensional travel that a full-grown man like Bishop would?
Of course not. No. So, yeah, we don't know. Maybe it's a plot hole. You're right. Bishop could have went back to his time and bring back whatever it is, the formula or the antidote. Yes, from Forge. Yes, exactly. I don't know. But we have Q&A. Let's say hello to those who are watching us on YouTube. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Thank you all for joining us.
All right, Alex.
Yes.
Lowell, I think Scott and Jean are both understandably confused and uncertain when there's too much soap opera drama overall.
Okay, now are you saying
Yeah, it did get a little weird.
Okay. Now, is that a good thing, Alex, that is too much? Or you think maybe they need to scale back the soap opera drama? Yeah, let me know. But it's up my alley. Like I said, I mean, this is something I expect. Although, when people are really going through something, they're, it's, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, but if they got a lot that they're carrying, there has to be some type of outlet. And you have to be careful as to which outlet you choose. That information that Scott gave to that reporter can be used against him. You know what I mean? And I'm not very, I'm not certain that I trust this reporter with this information, but he just let it out, this, I want my son back and I can't have him. She asked a question, very nosy question, as a matter of fact. She did her research. Hello, Megan. Thank you so much. Thank
we're doing
you.
great.
Yeah, we're doing fine. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Any more Q&A before? Okay. So this reporter asked a question. I think the question was, well, how's your son? Well, tell us about your son with you and Jean. And then Scott says, well, we don't have a son together. And then
this nosy reporter, she's like, well, actually,
sure?
I checked the hospital records. There was this one doctor who said you stole his memories. And he's like, that jerk. And he called my son a freak.
Yes, right. But
so basically, Scott's on his emo arc right now.
Yeah, but Scott told too much. That reporter didn't need to know that Jean is not the mother of his son. That just makes things
he
very
said
complicated.
That?
Yeah, he did.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, he said, Jean and I don't have a child together. And that's when the reporter went into, oh, what are you talking about? I know, I looked at the medical records and you had a son named Nathan Charles Summers, and, he was born so-and-so, and the doctor who delivered him. And that's when he just went off and said, well, that doctor called my son a freak. We've done so much for you humans, and he walked away.
Well, they never explicitly said that Jean wasn't the mother. Like, I always interpreted that as he doesn't have a son anymore because his son's in the future now.
Well, it sounds complicated. So he should have just left it, okay, well, my son is doing fine. They don't need to know who the birth mother is. We know the birth mother is not Jean, it's Madelyne. Just leave that out. That's nobody else's business.
Scott also has a son with Jean, whose name is Nathan Gray. So they're really bad at naming kids because they have two kids with the same name.
That is interesting.
And Madeline is literally a clone of Jean.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids are essentially brothers.
Yes. Half brothers. Yeah. Yeah. With the same first name.
Yeah. Could you imagine being like, Nathan, go clean the kitchen, and then you have two kids pop up? Like, which one?
Well, they call one Nate and the other one Nathan. It's still complicated. It's this whole relationship is bonkers. All right, but
this is bouncy ball bonkers.
Yeah, yeah. And then we were just talking about Jean. Now, Jean, I'm trying to
she's
understand.
Sitting in a lake.
Okay,
for
explain
reason.
That to me. Okay, she's sitting in a. See, like she's underneath.
Well, yeah. So she's
beneath the water.
She's holding the water. So she's sitting in the water, and then she made like a little circle of air, and then a pathway. Which, if she wanted to be alone, I don't know why there's a pathway.
Right.
And then she's like rotating memories in water.
Right. Yeah. And so she kind of like parted the seas, as if, if you think about it. So she made a way, like you said, a path for Logan to appear. And then just out of nowhere, she plants one on him. Plants
How
one
did you know?
I was gonna say, I don't know if I can say kiss, but yeah, it's fine. You've seen.
Said the same thing.
Yeah, kiss is fine. Yeah, whatever. But she plants one on Logan, and Logan is just like, well, what is going on? And I don't think Logan said anything. I think either we cut away or Logan just walked away because he's confused.
Poor
but we
Logan
know,
is just caught out there.
yeah, but we know her heart is with Scott, so I don't know what that was about, but that just adds to the controversy. All right, let's talk about Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit. Okay, talk about another triangle. So Magneto has already approached Rogue and explained to him that he wants she and him to rule Genosha together. And she didn't give an answer, from what I understand. But what she did was at least she gave respect to Gambit and explained to him their backstory. Theirs as an Eric, Magneto and Rogue's backstory.
Yeah, at least she had the decency to lay it all out for him and let him know exactly where she's coming from.
Right, exactly. And I think that was very nice. I mean, she needed to really level with my man, Gambit. And she told the whole story. She met him at a very young age because she had this superpower, and her mother knew someone who could probably help train her and guide her and able to use her power and control her power. So he knew her at a very young age. But when she was of adult age, he took the relationship a step further.
Yeah, that is that's an interesting point of view of Magneto there. That's an option.
Yeah. Well, at least he waited until she was an adult.
At least he had that much confidence.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, so it's understandable. It's look. I know there is an age gap, but there was.
Yeah, he already had white hair.
Yeah, and there was a connection that the two of them have that Rogue does not have with anyone else, and I'm talking about the physical touch, right? So yeah.
Because he has like an electromagnetic force field around him.
Yeah.
So Rogue can't steal his powers.
Right. And she can touch him. Right? Like, skin to skin. Without any.
Yeah. They can do high fives and all that.
Yes, they can do high fives. Yeah. And that's something that's very important. Touch is very important. As, of course, like when people give hugs and shake hands.
Yeah. I mean,
that's very important.
If you can't touch somebody, you can't really have anything.
Right.
Because talking to somebody and not being able to high five them or hit them on the shoulder or, yell at them when they do something stupid, it's like you can't get that far.
Yes. It's an expression of feelings, like, oh, you happy to see someone, you shake their hands, or somebody you haven't seen in a long time, you give them a hug. It's just affection. That's who we are as human beings and mutants as well, So, all right. Let's see. So we got
#mutants are humans too.
Exactly. They're not that much different than us. I found Magneto to be a bit creepy. Reminds me of how Batman, the animated series, also had Batman and Batgirl have feelings for each other, and I found that creepy also. That is actually true. That is a true story. There was, I don't know if it was a Killing Joke. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, or it might have been another movie, but yeah. So apparently Barbara and Bruce, had a thing going. But to their credit, I think Barbara and Bruce were closer to age, so it wasn't that bad that you could see the two of them having an attraction to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
as long as they're like comparable age.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't tell you what the age group, maybe 10, 15, that's not bad.
10, 15 years old or 10, 15
years apart. 10 to 15 years apart. It happens. If, you have let's say a guy who's 20 dating a woman who's 35, it's doable.
Why are we doing this?
They may get some looks, but
why?
They're not committing any crimes. So, but I do understand what you're saying, Alex. Magneto, he did. I guess because he knew this little girl, he knew Rogue since he was a little girl. It would be creepy and say,
yeah. Can't you catch some federal charges for that?
No. Again, you have to wait until she's an adult. But how long did he have these feelings? Like, at what point? Did he have these feelings? I'm not going to go too far into this
Can
because
we stop now?
this is not that type of show. But hey, it's a soap opera. But that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little too soap opera.
Yeah. It's
I feel like the other episodes were like really fun stories, and then here we just went like all in.
Mhm.
It's like, first off, here's a question I have.
Sure.
Who sent that giant sentinel?
That's a
Like,
very good question. Let's put that out there. Who sent the sentinel?
Who's out here doing this?
Mm-hmm.
What? Who has this technology?
Yeah. I have a theory about that.
Tell me your theory.
Well,
your game theory.
Well, I think it has to do with someone from the future. I think someone has the technology in the future and somehow perhaps brought it back to the present and was able to give this information to someone who was able to release these sentinels. I don't know, but it's possible. That's my theory. Forge, you think Forge would be in a position to do that?
I don't know. I don't think he would have made the Sentinel. Maybe he developed the tech for it. I don't know. Maybe he built like a protection robot for the future, and then someone stole it and reprogrammed it and sent it to the future, and that's why Cable's there.
It's possible. Yeah,
it is probably someone from the future, given the fact that Cable came to stop it. Because even if he knew this event would happen, well, he might have. I'm sure they have history books. This is like a massive extinction event. So.
Sure, it is. Yeah, it's. We're gonna get to it. So let's finish up this triangle here with Rogue, Magneto, and Gambit. So Rogue tells Gambit the truth, and Gambit makes an effort to try to talk her into not working with Eric, and he says, well, there's more than just touching skin. A relationship is more than that.
Yeah.
And then she says, your heart may beat for me, but I can't feel it. You light up everything you touch, but never me.
Gee,
wow. Yeah. So.
Sounds like the Executioner might have a really helpful cure for this.
We mean take her powers away?
Yep.
Is that a joke?
No.
Why would you want Rogue's powers taken away?
Because she doesn't seem to enjoy not being able to touch anyone. So why don't you just take her powers?
I don't know if that's the answer.
She seems like the one mutant out of everybody on the team who would actually want this.
I don't think any.
I hope they don't, because Rogue is like a staple of the X-Men.
Yeah, I don't think. I can't imagine.
Like, I've heard people saying this was Magneto trying to put a hit on Gambit.
That's too far-fetched.
First off, Magneto is actively putting his own life in danger.
Absolutely right.
The
exactly.
whole point, if you've seen season 2 of The Flash, major spoilers. You might want to cover your ears, Dad, if you plan on watching it.
That's fine.
Yeah. So Jay Garrick, he's like the main or the second hero. He's the second speedster. He turns out to actually be the villain. He's just been making speed mirages of himself the whole time. So he created the hero and the villain at the same time. He's playing both sides is the point. But he's never putting himself in immediate danger. Like, there's this one point where Zoom beats up Jay, but he doesn't actually die. Like, he keeps Jay from dying because he's the actual Jay. Like, the speed mirage is Zoom. He's Jay, so he doesn't want to die. My point is that he knows when to make it look like an accident and when to actually save himself. Whereas Magneto, he's actively out here, like, fighting that Sentinel, really damaging it. Like, he picked up a monorail as a whip and starts smacking it.
Amazing.
But Magneto, couldn't he have just pulled the Sentinel apart, like, screw by screw? Because that thing is made entirely of metal. Like, he picked up an entire monorail, front to back, in one, and swung it around. But he couldn't have just pulled out some screws, and the wires, I'm sure, are made of copper, because that's a really common wire type. Copper is metal. He could have just ripped the wires apart from the inside and disabled the Sentinel.
Well, he'd have to get up very close to do that, right? To take that sentinel apart.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I don't look. I don't know.
That monorail didn't look that close to him.
Well, that's true, right? And the monorail did not help, unfortunately. But I don't know. I think I would chalk it up to you. Okay, I would chalk it up to the X-Men just getting caught off guard. I don't think they had any idea this was going to happen on this particular night. I mean, it was a very important night, and we're going to get to that now. So this is the evening where Magneto announces, this public announcement that he is a chancellor and that he brings out his co-leader, Rogue, Dr. Cooper. She's a federal prosecutor, I believe. She is not happy with the idea that a terrorist is in charge of a country, which is interesting. But I like Eric's comeback and says, "Oh, but you're okay with leaders becoming terrorists." You see the difference? Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought that was a very good comeback. Now, Emma, I wanted to say that because I couldn't stop laughing when this happened. So Cooper came up to Sebastian and Magneto and Emma, and she says, "We have to talk." She was upset. And I know Sebastian said, "Well, what's wrong?" And then Emma comes back and says, "Is it the dress? Is it your dress? Is there something wrong with your dress?" I thought that was pretty funny. But she seems to be very concerned about having Magneto back in, being that powerful. I can understand it, but Magneto also has a good point. Okay, all right, maybe if you think he's a terrorist now, all right, you have leaders that are put in place and they become terrorists. It's possible.
I just thought of a theory.
Go ahead.
Maybe she knew and she was trying to get Magneto out of there.
You think Cooper
and maybe she knew about the Sentinel attack. She was trying to get Magneto and Gambit and Rogue to leave before they got caught.
Well,
it just seems strange that she just seems so worried about Magneto leading a mutant nation.
Yeah.
When they don't really seem to have any affairs inside of, the other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why she's so worried.
Yeah, I don't know either. But she was also very concerned that, when Magneto said, "Well, I've asked Rogue, to co-lead with me," and she said, "Well, did she say yes?" And then that's when we saw Rogue, elegant, walking down the stairs. And
floating down.
Yeah, coming down the stairs, and it's like everything stopped and all eyes were on her. And you saw Magneto come forward, and the two of them literally started floating. I mean, like, there's just the two of them. No one could say anything. No one could do anything. They were the two most powerful people in the room, and they just danced, and, like we just talked about touching, they have no problem with that. Then they embrace and, the smacker. And then this is very interesting that Rogue said this. After the kiss, she says, "You know what? I think Gambit was right after all."
She had to try both her options.
She said Gambit is right. Some things are deeper than skin. So what does that mean? I think maybe she's having second thoughts of being the one for Magneto.
So then she buzzes off to go find Gambit, and all of everything breaks apart.
Right, and this is where
so Madelyne has some psychic entanglement with Jean for whatever reason. She goes outside, and then Cable's there.
Yeah, right.
And then Cable says, "Run." And he's like, "I love you, Mom. I'm sorry." And then he flies back, and then everything explodes.
Mm-hmm.
People are dead. Magneto knocks over a statue and crushes people. Uses the monorail as a whip. Gambit threw his bike at Rogue, which sounds really funny out of context. Yeah. And then Magneto is trying to help this kid Leech, who's really not helping the situation. First of all, why did Magneto tell Leech to get off of him? Because Leech's whole thing is he's making his powers weaker. So why didn't he just say, "Get off me, Leech," and then start trying to make the force field better? Because he's like actively trying to protect these kids, and Leech is not helping.
Okay, all right. I don't remember that part. I just remember
Yeah,
at
he's
least
like
the
clinging,
green skin.
yeah, the
person?
greeny one.
Okay.
Like he's clinging on to Magneto. So.
Well, I think Magneto's trying to protect him, right?
Well, yeah, but like Leech steals people's powers by contact, so like the other people were like scattered around, so he would have still been in the force field. Should have just asked Leech to take a step back.
I don't know about that. I think he was just trying to protect as many of the Morlocks as he could.
Yeah, but like there were other people in the force field who weren't holding on to him.
I see.
So,
okay, I did not pick up on that.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to make Magneto safe here.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, you're trying to save him. You think?
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as Eric did one of the most heroic things that any human or mutant can do is
you think
try
he's
to.
Dead?
I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't, and we'll get to that.
I think Magneto might actually go on a villain arc now.
It's possible. All right.
This just does not seem like the type of thing Magneto would allow to slip by, to just give a pass to. So I'm sure at this point he's going to start lighting some fire to the UN's fingers, like just absolutely holding no punches, absolutely going back to where he was before, if not worse, as a villain. So.
All right, so can we finish up this disaster? I just want to say one thing. I noticed that, of course, these Sentinels were targeting mutants, and you were talking about Dr. Cooper might have something to do with it. If she did, she would not have been there. I recall she was there, and she saw the attacks happening, and she was passed over because she was not a mutant, right? So she was, even though she was in the thick of this war or battle, they weren't going to harm her because the Sentinels were clearly only after mutants.
Wait, but how would they know?
I don't know. I think, they're very sophisticated.
You couldn't tell Robert DaCosta was a mutant until he showed off his powers.
Well, I don't know.
More for the fact that they're actively capturing him because he's a mutant, you would not know. So, because he looks like a civilian.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Jubilee or
But I think these machines are advanced. Like they have the capability.
So are they scanning people's DNA?
Exactly. Yes, I think they can do that. Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, I want to get there because I recall when they targeted Magneto, they call him Omega.
Omega level mutant. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like an ultra powerful mutant. Scarlet Witch is an Omega level mutant. They did the same thing with Storm, I think.
Okay. So
like Omega level threat detected.
So, and Omega to me that he is one of the more powerful mutants.
Correct.
So they needed to make sure that the Omega was neutralized. So when they killed him, apparently, the Sentinel said Omega threat eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
right. Okay. And then let's get to it because I know this is tough. We still have Rogue and Gambit, and they're trying to save as many people as possible. Gambit takes it right to the Sentinel, tries to save his people, but ends up sacrificing himself. And then when he's captured by the Sentinel says, target neutralized. And then what Gambit says is, my name is Gambit. Remember me. And then
he blows it up.
Gone. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
And he's not coming back.
Well, no, I don't want to say that because I think all of them are coming back. So let's get to it. Well, this is my thought. So we have a section here talking about.
Is Rogue going to turn into Rey and like give him her life force?
Oh
or something?
My goodness, Keith. All right, okay. All right, let's lead the Rise of Skywalker out of this.
Did you know that this year's his 5th anniversary?
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it?
That's it. I don't have anything to say about it.
Very good. Okay, happy 5th anniversary to the Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, all right. 5th
anniversary.
Our thoughts. So here's my thought.
Very 5th anniversary.
So, let me tell you what I think. You talking about what you think, and then maybe we'll come to some middle ground. So we know definitely that Cable is from the future. He comes and he warns his mother. Turn off the music. There's a threat coming. He's coming. He didn't say who he was. Who is he? But soon as he right,
like leave it to people in the face of danger to show absolutely no logic and give people names.
Yeah, right. You just leave it up in the air.
It's like, he's coming. You're all gonna die.
Yeah.
He's here.
No time to
Who's
talk.
he? Peace.
And all right, and then he's gone.
Goes back to the future.
So my thinking is, and then that's when the disaster happened. something in the future is actually caused this event in the present, right? To me, it feels like a Terminator moment. And I know you didn't see Terminator, but Sarah Connor, I want to give it away because I know you want to see it, So there was a Terminator from the future who came back and tried to protect Sarah Connor because she was going to. Oh, really, Keith? Okay. Anyway, if you've seen Terminator, you know what I'm talking about. So Cable is coming back to warn them that something's happened. He didn't make it. He was too late. But I think something in the future, what he's going to do is actually change the future in order to correct what happened that night.
Well,
so he will be able to bring all of the X-Men back, the ones who are deceased. That's my.
Isn't that cheating death?
Comic books cheat death all the time. What are you talking?
Yeah, well,
how many times have you seen comic book characters come back to life?
The only thing is, it's like in these show adaptations, it's like one main storyline. Whereas with the comic books, they're just telling different stories with the same characters over and over in the randomest ways. I really don't understand comic books. It's just like you have like 50 different events, past, present, and future going on with the same character. Doesn't even matter if they die because they'll be back in the next issue. Look what they did to Miss Marvel. Like the backlash was so insane, she's back now.
No, yeah, I understand that, right? Yeah, it was
like nobody was gonna allow that.
Well, so these comic books have been around for 20, 30, 40 years. And in order for them to do that, you have to have a new artist bring their interpretation of the X-Men and try something new and try something creative. So, and that also meant that they had to go back and actually bring back past heroes, who might have perished, and they have a reason to bring them back. It happens all the time. It's happening in Star Wars, So, you have a really good villain. Or really good characters, you can't just kill them all unless it's for a very good reason. So I know that this is painful to watch. We're watching our heroes go, but they're going to come back. Gambit's going to come back. Magneto's going to come back. It's a funny thing. I also saw Sebastian Shaw among the dead, which is interesting because and
Callisto.
Okay, yeah, and I expect that these people are going to have much more to do in future episodes. I mean, he's a supervillain. So you tell me that this supervillain came into one episode and now you killed him off? No, he's going to be back. So that's it. That's what we think. So yes, the death of Miss Marvel was ridiculous. It didn't even happen in her own book. I'm glad they brought her back, though she shouldn't have been killed off in the first place. Yeah, sometimes these decisions made by these new writers, unfortunately,
make you
don't
stop
work
and scratch your head.
It does. Yeah. Comic books cheat death. Bobby did so also. Yeah, exactly. It's a soap opera. It is a soap opera. Yes. Great characters, unless you have a very good reason to keep them deceased, there's always a chance to bring them back, So that's episode 5. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Bring back my boy Gambit.
All right. I think that's going to happen. It may not happen in the next episode. I think it's going to take some time. It might be a finale.
I'm really shocked that they would do this extinction event like episode 5.
Yeah.
We're barely at the halfway point. How many episodes are there?
Oh, I was going to ask you. I'm not sure.
I think it's
8 to 10.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, you look it up. Well, actually, I need my notes, but okay. I guess I'll just talk off the top of my head. All right. So let me know if there's any more Q&A. All right. But in the meantime, let's talk about CinemaCon. All right. Something took place. A big event took place. Marvel related this past week, CinemaCon. It took place in Las Vegas, and we got some good nuggets that came out of there. Kevin Feige himself actually dropped some dimes.
Yeah, like the Thunderbolts with an asterisk.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll start. Okay, follow the notes.
Well, I want to talk about the Thunderbolts with the asterisk.
But wait a minute, let's go in order. All right, because I put
9
the notes
minutes
in
of
order.
Deadpool and Wolverine footage.
All right. Okay.
They got 9 minutes.
All right. Can we start here with Captain America?
All right.
So let me set it up. So 3 movies. We got 3 new films coming out in 2025, right?
Yeah. So
in the theaters. First one,
Captain America Brave New World supposed to come out Valentine's Day 2025.
Interesting.
So we got Anthony Mackie as a Cap, Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross, Carl Lumbly is going to be Isaiah Bradley. So, wahoo! That was really weird. Danny Ramirez is Joaquin Torres, the new
Possible
Falcon, apparently.
New Falcon, yeah.
Liv Tyler returns as Betty Ross, President's daughter, and Tim Blake Nelson is Samuel Stearns, aka the leader.
Yeah, right. And he's from the Incredible Hulk film, right?
Huh?
Was he not in the Incredible Hulk movie? Tim Blake Nelson? Well, that was my notes. All right. Okay. So give me a minute, as Keith does his research while we're live.
Yes, he was actually.
Yeah. Well, I thought you saw the Incredible Hulk.
Well, yeah, but his role was so minor.
Oh, really?
So, he was the doctor, and then he got infected with Hulk blood, and that's the last time we saw him. And that movie came out in 2008.
Why? So, wait a minute. So, who was the villain in that movie?
Abomination.
Oh, so he wasn't even the main villain.
No, he wasn't even a villain.
Oh, so what was his storyline about? Why was it in there?
He was helping Bruce and Betty.
Oh, okay. And then he accidentally got himself infected with Bruce's blood. Oh.
And that went nowhere. So.
Very strange. Okay.
Till now.
They're bringing him back, so he might be the supervillain of this movie. Any thoughts on that?
I have no clue who the leader is. I played as him in Lego Marvel Superheroes once. Not a great character.
Okay, you don't find him very powerful?
No.
Okay.
Jean Grey does pretty much everything that he did in that game. So
interesting. Okay.
The game was so good. It was the only Lego Marvel game that had the X-Men.
All right. Okay. All right. So Captain America coming out, Brave New World coming out February 14th. 10
episodes, by the way.
10 episodes. Okay. Thank you. Thunderbolts. All right. So now we know it's confirmed. Thunderbolts with an
asterisk.
We don't know what that means. Kevin Feige says he's not going to tell you until after the movie's released.
Which is useless.
Do you have any idea whatsoever what that asterisk could mean?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's very strange.
The only time you usually see asterisks is if there's adding more to something.
Yeah.
Like if there's more that's coming after a sentence.
Yeah. I'll put that question out there. Do you have any idea what the asterisks mean? I'm going to throw something out there. It's a while because I don't know. I'm thinking that the idea of the Thunderbolts is to form this new team, but I don't think things are going to work out. Which is why Thunderbolts is not going to really be Thunderbolts, because they're not going to be able to get together and they're not going to be able to make it as a team.
Maybe there's a scroll.
Okay. Well, regardless, I think the Thunderbolts are not going to come together. I think there's going to be some friction on the team. The people are going to try to go their own way. And that's the reason why there's the asterisk.
Yeah, isn't Bucky a hero? Why is he joining a Rogues team? Hasn't he been on the Avengers?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the cast. This is
really bringing himself down there.
So this is confirmed. Sebastian Stan's coming back as Bucky Barnes. So we have Hannah John Kamen as Ava Star Ghost. Tell me who Ghost is.
She was the villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay, she
has really weird powers that allow her to teleport, but she's also very unstable.
Okay, was she a good character, you thought? Sort of.
I don't know. She barely said anything.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay. Riot Russell, we know. John Walker. Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Valentina will be in it. Florence Pugh. Elena Belova. David Harbour is coming back as Red Guardian. Olga Kurylenko is Taskmaster.
Ah, yes, my favorite villain, Taskmaster.
Now, is that sarcasm?
Absolutely.
You don't like Taskmaster?
No.
Okay.
They really wasted her character in this movie. She could have done a lot.
Well, in the Black Widow movie.
Yeah,
Black Widow
movie.
Yeah, well, I agree with you.
She could have done a lot more.
That I agree.
Instead of just sitting there and staring at Black Widow.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I think we skipped over Harrison Ford.
Well, he was next.
Did you say Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't hear you say Harrison Ford. So we know Harrison Ford is actually taking over the role of Thaddeus Ross.
So he's going to be in this movie too.
Right, so he's going to be in two films. Captain America, and he's also going to be in Thunderbolts, right? So he's now...
When's he going to be Red Hulk? President
Ross, the president of the United States. All right, so that's the second movie. The third film we already know, but it's confirmed once again, the Fantastic Four will be released on July 25th. By the way, the release date for Thunderbolts is May 5th. May 5th is a Monday. So is that a mistake?
Wait a minute.
Or am I looking at the wrong calendar?
And
Or am I
May
playing tricks
5th
on
is
me?
like right after May 4th.
Can somebody else confirm?
So that's like the perfect way to not get the Star Wars crowd.
Yeah,
because
but
they're all sleeping after they partied until 3 a.m. on May 4th.
oh, okay. But I don't recall a movie opening on a Monday. So that's
Yeah, don't they usually open on like Thursdays or Fridays
Exactly,
so
yeah.
they can get the weekend crowd?
Yes, right. So I don't know. That was very interesting when I saw that. All right. So back to the Fantastic Four. Their release date is July 25th. All right. So we know it stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Backrack, Joseph Quinn, your boy.
Yahoo!
By the way, Thunderbolts ends Phase 5. Fantastic Four kicks off Phase 6.
Well,
all right. So let me know of these 3 films that are coming out next year. Which one are you most excited about?
You are
Let's
correct.
put that
May
question in there.
5th is a Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday. So
June 25th is a Wednesday.
I mean, look, Marvel could do anything.
And
They can
February
open
14th is a Friday.
Yeah.
So that's like the only movie that really has an intuitive release date.
Mm-hmm. They can open up a movie on any day. I guess it doesn't matter. But, Monday it just seems odd. Okay. So that is it for Comic-Con. Let's Wednesday we'll be back for our Bad Batch spoiler review. 3 episodes left, everybody. 3 more episodes before the Bad Batch has ended. The end of an era. End of the series.
Oh, it says May 2nd on Google.
Okay, so you know what?
Thanks, Alex.
So here's this very interesting. I think because I was looking at the someone took a photo of the screen at CinemaCon, right, where Feige is on stage and behind them there's the backdrop and it has the logo and it had the date May 5th. So somebody made a mistake and maybe Kevin didn't catch it.
Well, somebody's getting fired.
Now May 2nd makes more sense. All right, so May 2nd. All right. Yes, so 3 episodes left of the Bad Batch. We'll be back on Wednesday for episode 13 is picking up. Want to talk to you about Patreon once again. If you're, weren't with us the last couple of weeks, we're trying to push we're trying to resuscitate our patron, our patron page. So we're going to be dropping episodes that you will see if you become a patron. Only costs $3 or $5 a month. You will get to see episodes before everyone else. And you'll also get to see content that will not be seen by anybody else unless you're a patron, right? So a few things that we talked about, right? You're going to do a Patreon on who is the most powerful X-Men. And we're actually, you and I are going to rank.
Spoiler alert, it's a good episode.
I'm sure it will be. Oh, you didn't record it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. You and I are also going to rank the Star Wars films. We've been asked to do this years, and we've been putting it off, but we're finally going to do it. You're going to rank them. I'm going to rank them. And then we don't know what our rankings are going to be. And then we're going to come together and we're going to discuss. All right. And then, I'm a James Bond fan. Love James Bond. So what's the best way to give a tribute to this franchise? I am going to rank all 25 James Bond films. So those are some of the things that we're working on.
No, also, wait a minute. Is there a canon for these James Bond films? Like, are there like 6 different people named James Bond who happen to work for the same British organization? Or are they all like in their own universes? Is there a James Bond?
No, no, it's not that. No, it's just different actors playing the same character.
So you mean to tell me these are just continuations of the same person? So this is like one character being played by 6 different people.
Well, yes, that's true. Same character.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because I mean, this franchise has been around for 60 years. You can't have one actor play James Bond for 60 years. So at some point they'll probably age out. No, seriously, they'll age out of the character and then they hire a new actor.
Is James Bond dyeing his hair?
No, why? Why? Why do you say that?
Doesn't Pierce Brosnan have black hair?
Yes, he does.
But like Daniel Craig has like blonde hair.
Yes, that's a very interesting thing that you brought up. That was very controversial. It's just how some fans can be so nitpicky. They didn't want Daniel Craig to be James Bond because he was blonde. Isn't that dumb?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really happened.
Wait, I'm trying to process that. What?
You don't have to because you can't process dumbness.
You know who's supposed to be blonde? The Flash. We've never had a blonde Flash yet.
What do you
like a live action blonde Flash?
the Flash is blonde in the comics?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
His name is Barry Allen. So
Barry Allen
he
is
also
blonde.
has blue eyes.
Really? I had no idea. Okay.
Blonde.
Blonde and blue eye. Okay. All right. And then also we were, wonderful interview with Christina Ariel. It is not ready yet. We're still working on editing that, but we'll have that done. I can't wait for you to see that. So we have that as well. All right. As we wait, missed it.
Leland Chi is coming out soon.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yes, Leland Chi. Yes. Thank you so much, Leland Chi. That is available. We had a great time. Thank you so much
for that awesome interview.
Yeah, we had a great time talking with Leland. We could have talked longer, but that is available. If you have not seen it, please watch it. He is very intelligent. He is a content. He is. He works in the creative department. He has a nickname, Keeper of the Holocron, so he knows more about Star Wars than anybody on this planet. All right, so check out that interview. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. I want to thank our patrons. Okay. We want to thank our patrons, Baraxon and Mary B. Potathon, we'll talk more about that on Wednesday because that's more Star Wars related, which is why I left it off the agenda. But Potathon is coming up. All right. We'll have more information about many other things that are happening on May the 4th, but we'll have that information for you on Wednesday. Okay. So we're pushing to 1 hour. If we don't have any other questions, Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers in the Galaxy. Website, fathersinthegalaxy.com. Please check out our merch store. Patreon.com/Fathers in the Galaxy is where you can donate to us. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And we also, we're on all the socials. Please leave a comment. If you listen to us on
email us at KEYard@FathersInGalaxy if you have anything you'd like to send us.
Right. Okay.
I will accept gifts and
via
gift
email?
cards. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I think they'll need our address to do that, right? Anyway. So, man, I had something to say.
That was a joke.
Yeah, it was funny.
Anyway, what were you?
I don't remember because, I lost my train of thought.
Gee, if only I were telepathic.
Yeah. If you listen to us on your audio platforms, please leave comments. We love comments, all right? Because if you leave comments,
to read and respond to them.
Yes, we read, and I try to get to the comments on YouTube, but I also like to see comments on Apple. Apple's our primary source of where people listen to us the most. So leave a comment. Leave a comment on Apple. Leave it anywhere. That will help us get our name out there, get people to know who we are, because we enjoy doing this, but we're still trying to make a name for ourselves. There's so many people out there that still don't know who Father Son Galaxy is. So please just help us out. All right. Is that it?
That is it.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This was a very good episode. I don't know. Is this your favorite episode so far? Or not really. Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll be back on Wednesday to talk Bad Batch. All right. So until next time, take care. And we will see you again.